Hey guys, we're back with another episode of Taco Imposters for Monday, July 18th, 2022. I think it was my mother who said either yesterday or the day before she could not believe it was like it was July whatever, it was 13th, yeah, 17th or something, 16th or 15th. I don't remember when it was exactly. Let me turn this up a little bit. It was just crazy. She was like, "No way. It's no way." I'm trying to adjust the sound. Anyway, the sound level on the Also, there's one thing about this H1N Zoom H1N. I just broke the bottom of it because it was in my bag and things got sloshed around and the batteries came out and it like broke the little part of the bottom where the batteries are held in by one side of the springs. And I'm like, oh no! But I mean, look, it's not that bad. I fixed it with some super glue. Although my mom got some really thick super glue, like really thick super glue. Which I mean, hey, it's not that bad, but gosh, holy moly macaroni, it's humongous. Like the super glue is actually humongous. Okay, and so yeah, if you know how to fix these things better, I'm gonna have to probably sand a little bit of it off, like very very light sand, like fine sandpaper and very light sanding, so I don't ruin any of the plastic. But because it's so thick, I need really thin sandpaper, really thin super glue. But yeah, I just saw a video. Okay, this is the whole thing. Reason why I wanted to record right now because I just saw a video of it was what's his name? What was his name? Oh no, it's hours. No, I don't want any hours. I want zero. How do I say zero? No, how do I say zero? It's gotta be a zero. No? What? Oh, that's why it's this. Cancel. It's timer. So yeah. What was I saying? Yes, I saw it was a short about a from a podcast, probably his stupid um Logan Paul's podcast or whatever. I don't know what it's called. Impulsive or whatever. Repulsive, whatever it's called. It has Paul in the name. Find it kind of weird. Anyway, turn up a little bit. And so he's talking about how like, and this is Mr. Beast. This is Jimmy. I don't know his actual last name, to be honest. But anyway, Jimmy, and he's talking about how cryptocurrency, right? No, sorry, not talking about cryptocurrency. He's talking about NFTs, and he's talking about how Gary Vee called him up one day and was like, "This is like 3 in the morning." Called him up, and then you got a bunch of people like him, anybody who's worth $1 billion, right? And then like um so it's him, Logan Paul, a bunch of people like that in there, and like, oh, you must buy the was it Bored Apes or something? Buy them now, do it now. You will invest in this now. It's bigger than Facebook. It'll be great. It'll be worth millions of dollars. And I'm just like, oh my god, it's so stupid. And then I think Paul says, oh, but he was right. He was right again. I'm like, no, bull crap, baloney, bull spit. That's so hooky, man. It's dumb. Stop telling me that it's going to be big. He's one of the proprietors. Is that the right word? Proprietors? Let me see. No, not proprietors. It's not the right word I'm looking for, is it? Definition of proprietors. Oh man, this thing sucks sometimes. Definition of proprietors. I'm using Google. No. No. The guy who like promotes, he's a big guy on NFTs are going to be a great thing because he's got this like argument where it's like NFTs are going to be great because they're going to be bigger than friggin' everything. First of all, and second of all, they're going to be worth millions of dollars. We can all become rich. It's like you read between the lines, you know. Take a big middle finger to you, Gary Vee. Sorry, I'm gonna say that right now. But the other thing is, he's like, but it won't just be a thing. It'll be like, you know how you have to buy a ticket to something? Well, it'll be an NFT. It's like, no, it won't. Don't give me that crap. No, no, it won't. Stop your baloney. You know it won't. But maybe anyway. But I'm like, Gary Vee is a big proprietor on just do weird whatever kind of things. Although he has good ideas and sends things like, if you don't want to make money, you're just lazy. That's just the end of story. There are ways to make money for free or for virtually free. And I'm like, yeah, but nobody wants to do your idea, which is his idea is you go on Craigslist and you find like a couch. that someone's trying to sell for free, or a chair or something, and you sell it for, and you go on a bus, you go out, you get said item that they're trying to sell for free, right? And you go on Facebook, either or Facebook Marketplace, and you go back on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace or something like that, or eBay even, and you sell it for, even if it's like $5-10, you've made $5-10. You take that $5-10, you make it a little bit back. You go back and buy something. Now you have the $5-10. You can leverage that $5-10 and say, oh, well, I have $5-10. I can buy something with it, and then you just keep going. $50. You get the $50. Okay, great. Now I can buy something better, or $25. You buy something better. Then $30. Then $50. Then $100. Then $1,000. And I'm like, yeah, but nobody wants to do that. Obviously, if people wanted to do that, they would have done it. And sometimes I'm skeptical about these people. No offense. I'm skeptical about these people who say stuff crap. I'm not even joking. Like, this, like, I'm not saying it's all garbage, but where they're like, I had literally nothing. And I'm like, that's baloney. That's baloney, because you'd be living in a shack. Like, I know people who legitimately live in these, like, quote unquote, how is this even a livable environment at all kind of housing apartment things. And I'm like, you're not living in there. And maybe you are, I don't know. But they talk like, I have nothing, I'm poor. Like, stop it. I don't know why that brought up, because I saw Tony Robertson video about it, if you know that guy. I mean, he's a decent motivational speaker, I guess. I don't know. I don't know much about Tony Robertson, so don't, quote me on the fact that he's good or bad. I have no idea about Tony Robertson. People like him, but anyway. If you want interesting people, okay, I'm going to say one thing right now. If you want interesting people, listen to Joe Rogan's podcast. I've listened to not a full episode yet, but I've seen lots and lots of clips here and there on YouTube Shorts, and it's just he has the craziest people on there, just to say. But let's go back to the NFTs for a second there. Right? NFTs, right? So it's Gary Vee and his big, we buy it. I'm like, no, that's baloney. Don't invest. Because I'm like, even if you can make millions of dollars, right? And we can all be rich, right? If we all invest in it in some capacity. It's just like buying, well, no, I was going to say it's like buying a stock, but NFTs are not like buying a stock. And if you watch or listen to I was going to say the Pat Contry podcast, nope, to the Completely Unnecessary podcast, right? With Pat Contry and Ian Ferguson, right? They always say this, like, I think it's Ian who said, based on what other people have said, you never want to be the last person to hold an NFT. You always have to sell it to the next person. You always have to sell. And usually you want to sell for higher than you paid for it, obviously. But, yikes, this is my bed. I'm sitting in my bed right now. Ah! That's a really creaky bed. That's a very creaky bed. Yikes. But anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, so you always want to be you never want to be the last, touching the thing because it's not dry, the super glue on the Zoom H1N handy recorder. Because I used accelerator baking soda. I don't have an actual, like, spray accelerator, but yeah. And so it's like, it's still not technically really dry. Also, it's really thick, so therefore it's not going to dry real fast. Anyway, yeah, you never want to be the last guy. You always have to sell it off, right? And so it's like, oh, this is so stupid, because, like, it's just dumb. Like, you always have to try and sell it off. You never want to be the last guy, obviously for more than you bought it for, but, like, yeah. You never want to be the last guy to hold it. You always want to try and sell it off, because if you're holding it, you're making zero money. This is not like a stock or like cryptocurrency, right? See, that's the thing, right? It's based on Ethereum, right? You buy everything off the blockchain with Ethereum. And I think I was watching a Mark Cuban was on a podcast. I don't remember whose. Maybe it was Jake Paul's. I don't remember. But he was talking about cryptocurrency. And he's like, he doesn't really love cryptocurrency because it's been crashing lately, right? And everybody doesn't like it, but there are the people like him who are like, well, I'm not going to, like, wipe it clean off the slate yet, wipe it off the blackboard yet, chalkboard yet, or the whiteboard, the whiteboard, the erasable whiteboard, not yet. But because he was saying there's two things. There's one where one is based on how much you have, the supply and demand, which is Bitcoin, and there are. He said something like 200 million or something. That's or something to that effect. I don't remember, but there is a finite amount of it, which is like, yeah, okay, sure, right? Because that's how it was kind of made. It was kind of almost like if you found a mine of gold, right, and said, oh, or like, and came out of the mine going, oh, there's only this much gold. You can mine some of the gold, but there's only this amount of gold. Once that gold's gone, it's gone. There's no more gold, or it's a silver mine or something, or any kind of mineral mine, right? Oh, we found a copper deposit. Oh, that's all we have though. That's literally it. No more. After this, there's no more. That's just it. There's nothing else you can do about it. That's just all it has. It's like, yeah, that makes sense. But then he was talking about Ethereum and how Ethereum is based on like a transactional. So because from the very layman that I know, because I talked to a guy on Reddit about, because I was talking to a guy through DMs on Reddit, direct messages on Reddit, where he's a guy who sells these like the all-in-one units that mine cryptocurrency, and I looked at his website, and I mean, they're decent if you're going to make this into a thing, long-term investment. Also, if you're one of those wacko guys in like California or wherever, those places where like they just rent a place in the desert and or not necessarily the desert, but just in open space, like they just buy a property and just like a storage kind of place, and you just or like a I don't know, barn type of place, and you just fill it with like these machines that are going to run 24/7, making you, oh, it makes me $2.5 million. Yeah, but and then the electricity, oh, it's just dumb. Anyway, that guy was telling me about how it kind of works, and I was like, isn't there something about like you're verifying transactions? And I was like, that's how cryptocurrency is. Like cryptocurrency as a whole works. Bitcoin doesn't exactly work that way, but you mine, yes, and you verify like a transaction of on the blockchain apparently, or something like that. I don't know how it really works. I'm sorry, I don't really know how it really works. Not that I couldn't learn anyway, but like, and not that it's a bad thing, right? I think cryptocurrency could become a thing, but it's just they also made the point where I think it was something like someone either at Valve or someone was saying that Valve might, use cryptocurrency as like a currency, and then I think retracted that statement or like never not acknowledged. I guess not acknowledged, but the word I'm looking for, never confirmed that was ever a thing, I think. And so it was just like, because I think Pat Contry made the point. He was like, yeah, but you can't use cryptocurrency as a stable currency. It's not a stable currency, so you can't use it as a way to buy something, anything, whether that is video games or a club sandwich, because it doesn't work. So let's say today you buy one cryptocurrency for $400, right? Let's say whatever cryptocurrency is worth $400, whatever it is, be it Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Dogecoin, Fauci coin, because that's a thing, or there's a oh my god, it's so sick, it's so awful, but there's a George Floyd coin and a Anthony Fauci coin. Why? Nobody's buying it. It's probably worth nothing. But then again, Doge apparently had nothing, and now it's worth lots of money, and people have made millions of dollars off of it. Anyway, because they bought like stupid amounts of it, and now even if you bought, even if it was worth like literally pennies on the dollar, like literally nothing, right? It's now worth you now have millions, because if you bought, let's say you bought a million of it at like a penny each or whatever, you've made so much money. Anyway, well, for now you made so much money. Anyway, I've explained this to my dad, because I asked the guy too, I think I said, and he was like, yeah, it is kind of like a stock in how there's not enough things that accept it to value it to make a value give it a value, to make a value out of it, to give it a value, which is like the problem with it, right? So it just becomes a stock where I don't really know what the criteria is to drive the prices up and down like a stock, but it's just you watch it, and if it goes up, it goes up, and if it goes down, it goes down, and you sell it when it's up, and you buy when it's down. That's it. You buy high and sorry, you buy low and sell high. Like that's just right, like every stock. So it's like yeah, okay. Which so not enough things use it, right? And so he was saying how you can't have it like that because even if you're buying anything from a hoagie, a sandwich, to a video game, you can't have it where one day you buy it. So I said, so let's say $400 is one whatever coin, whatever we want to call it, right? And it costs I don't know $16 for a game. Or let's say like a Nintendo game. So let's say Walmart accepts Bitcoin or accepts the coin you're gonna buy. Okay, accepts the coin you're gonna buy, right? And you want to buy a Switch game. So you're like, okay, great. How much is Switch game? It's a first party Switch game. So you're like, okay, $60, $70, $69.99, $79.99. Okay, well, I don't remember what they are exactly. I think it's either $69.99 or $79.99. I'm talking Canadian dollars, not USD. I don't know what it would be USD. I think it's $60 USD. So let's take that price there, $60 USD, right? You buy a game for $60 USD. You're going to be spending a certain amount of this certain percent of this coin. But tomorrow, your coin, one coin, is worth $800. It like skyrockets and it doubles. Okay, I would be real mad that now I have to spend less of a coin. Wait, that's how that works, right? I'm trying to see. If you have more, you spend less of a coin, right? No, you spend more of a coin. Sorry, you'd be spending more of a coin. Okay, yeah, no, sorry, down. It's worth no, yeah, it would be less of a coin. I'm saying you'd be spending more of a coin. It goes down by half. 20. It's $200 a coin. So you have to spend less of a coin, right? Because you're getting closer to that price, right? That's how that works, right? I'm just doing like the pat math. You know what I mean? Pat country, pat math. Ugh. Yeah, you'd be because you'd be going closer to the price. Let's say $60. One coin is $60. Yeah, yeah. So two coins, or let's say one coin is $120. So you're spending 50% of a coin. Yeah, yeah. Okay. No. Yeah, you're spending. Wait. You'd be spending more of a coin. Yes. Yeah. So less, you'd be spending more of a coin. So if it goes higher, you'd be like, oh, I'm spending less of a coin. What the heck? No, more of a coin. I'm so confused. Wait, no, it's more of a coin. If you're spending, yeah, no, no, it's a smaller. No, the percentage gets smaller or higher. I'm so confused. Am I spending? Okay, I'm confused. Am I spending more of a coin, like percentage of a coin? 13, like 0.3. I don't know, point something of a coin. If the thing is $70 or $60 USD, and the coin's worth $400, I'm using that price because that's what the first video I ever saw of Bitcoin when tested. Adam Savage is tested. Um, Norman and is it Jay? No, Norman, whatever the other guy's name, the red-haired guy, the white red-haired guy, bought a coin for I think $400 or 420 or something, 460 or something, 450 something like that. So $400, and then the coin was worth. I'm confused now. So if it's $400 and something's worth $200, you're spending 50% of that coin, right? Yeah. If it's $800, you're spending a quarter of that coin, right? Yeah. So you're spending less. So you have to spend. Okay. If it gets more, you're spending less of that coin, right? So it gets more, and you're like, oh, I have to spend less of that coin. What the heck? Yeah, 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 yeah. If it's worth more, you're spending less. Yes, got it. I think that's how that works. I think I figured it out. So I'd be peeved off if the coin's now worth $800. It completely skyrocketed and doubled in price. I'd be like, oh, you suck. Like now I can spend less of my coin. What the heck? I could have spent less on my coin. You'd be paying more, right, for the coin. but you'd be spending less of your coin, right? She's like, that doesn't work. And then the next day, it drops, and you're spending more of your coin. It's inconsistent. Like, you're never going to go to a grocery store and say, how much money am I spending today on the coin? Or how much money am I spending today? Because the other problem was, so in Canada, right, when the truckers were protesting, they tried to, like, make a trucker coin, which they successfully ended up making a trucker coin. But the problem was, places were trying to, like, stop them. The government was basically trying to stop them from using cryptocurrency at all. They were like, no, you can't do that. And then they basically, it was like, because they were trying to use these, like, weird legislations to, like, and laws and bills and whatever's to pass and whatever to say, well, you can't do that based on this or based on that. Because they can't tell them outright, like, you can't use the Canadian dollar. Like, sorry, that's not, like, as if it's the Canadian dollar, you can't say stop using it. Like, just ban people from it. They were doing that with actual bank accounts, but once it got to that point where, like, well, if you withdraw all your money, right, out of your bank account, all of it, just 100% of it, right, out of wherever, CIBC, Scotiabank, TD Bank, National Bank, any of the banks, any of the big banks, right, you pull them right out, all gone, no more money in there, right, RBC, whatever, right, and then you bought cryptocurrency. Sorry, nothing you can do about that, really. I mean, I know you have to do it through, like, credit cards and through the blockchain and all that, but you know what I mean, right? If you bought it, right? And so, wait, what were they getting at with that? Oh, no, what were they getting at with that? I was talking about the unstable stability. Yeah, okay, I know what I'm getting at now. So they did that. And from that day, from the beginning of learning about Bitcoin, I always explained it to my dad because this is how I understand Bitcoin, or just cryptocurrencies as, it's a stock. It's a stock, it's a stock, it's a stock, it's a stock. You buy it at low, sell it high, because not enough things are accepting Bitcoin. So there's no value in this Bitcoin. It's still based on the dollar. That's the other thing I would keep saying. I asked the guy on Reddit, and I was like, it's still based on the dollar, though, right? And he's like, yeah. And I said, is that not a problem? And he's like, He kind of had this, like, I don't know. Not at this point. Yeah, but if we want to decentralize it, right, we have to then pull it from the dollar, right? This thing has to be backed by something that we tangibly use, no? And he goes, not really. And I went, okay, fine. If it doesn't, but it still has to be something that we can buy it with something. It's like buying gold. You're never going to be able to walk into Walmart and say, here's $30 worth of gold. I'd like to buy this RC car. Like, you're never going to be able to, or I'm going to buy this pool, or I'm going to buy this chair, or I'm going to buy this watermelon, $8 whatever, right? You're just never going to have, I mean, maybe you could technically do that, but I'm 90% sure a Walmart employee would either look at you like you're crazy or laugh at you like, what are you doing? No, go home, get out, right? And so that's the problem. I'm always like, yeah, but Dad, it's still backed up by the dollar. So you can't say, we're decentralizing anything. No, but you still have to buy it with the U.S. dollar. Like, oh my, it's so stupid. Or with the Canadian dollar. I mean, yeah, but you know what I mean. Like, it's backed up by the Canadian dollar, American dollar. So therefore, it's like, well, then there's no point to buying it. If I'm still gonna look at this as how much money USD am I spending to buy said thing with whatever coin, then what's the point? At that point, just buy it with real money. Because it's consistent money, too. It's not just like, oh yeah, well, today my one Bitcoin is worth, or my one whatever coin is worth $40, while yesterday it was worth $100, or even $41. I'd still be peeved off and be like, what? I lost $1? Like, that's the thing. It's the instability of the coin that's what drives me nuts. I'm like, whoa, because then when Pat said that, I was like, that makes so much sense, because it's like, wow, like, just think about it. You're going to go buy groceries, right? Now, this is not pleasurable things, right? Like I went to Walmart and I bought a Switch game, or whatever, or I bought an SD card, or I bought, I don't know, a chair or whatever. No, or whatever. No, this is like I'm going to the grocery store and I'm going to buy my groceries. You have to like go into. You have to go open your app and be like, well, what's the coin worth today, and how much am I spending on my food today, right? It's like, it's just stupid. Although I could see it becoming separate from like the dollar and just having its own value, right? And I can see it being used in more places. I can see it become a big thing. But like, no offense, you're not gonna have that happen anytime soon. It's not, no, that's the stupid thing. Everyone thinks it's gonna be the new thing, decentralize this and whatever and blah blah blah, and it's great. No, it's stupid. At least it makes sense. I can see it as a currency. I can see it as a currency. It's a thing. It's whatever. The problem is, it's really the NFTs that are like, this is just stupid. Like, isn't there that like, I don't know if it's a movie or a web series or a web short or whatever, and it's or web movie whatever, and it's like, um, it's Cryptoland, isn't that the one? Oh, it's just so dumb. I didn't watch it, but I knew somebody who sent me a link to it, and I was like, this is so stupid. And I'm like, what is this? He goes, it's just Cryptoland. It's a stupid like movie thing that they made. It was like an animated thing. Oh, it's dumb. Because I was talking about, or no, because that brought up the like the was the crypto apes or board apes or whatever they were called. The monkeys, where they're all the same pose, just in a different like outfit, like an avatar. And I remember that because what happened was that guy. There was one guy who bought like a few of them, or bought like the rights to them or whatever, right? The copyright to them or whatever, because that's how the like cryptocurrency work. I don't know if I talked about this already in this episode. Maybe did. I don't think so. I think I was just thinking about it on my own. Anyway, and he buys a bunch of them, and then he just goes and he starts the whole thing where he's like producing a movie or whatever, an animated thing, and then he gets hacked and all his apes get stolen, right? All his apes get stolen, 100%, and he doesn't technically own any of them anymore. And so the person who made them basically said, no, you're done, stop it, out. You don't own the copyright to any of this. They're still technically my copyright, even though you bought them from me, and then this guy stole them from you. Both of you technically, well, okay, even if the other guy who stole it from you now has the copyright, you don't. That's just, get out, stop now, you're done. No more. No, you're out. And I'm just like, that's the stupid thing about it. Like, it's so dumb. Because there's two things about NFTs, right? I'm thinking about this on my own, but the things about NFTs are either artwork, which like your schmo Joe down on the streets, any schmo Joe on the street, that's what most people are going to buy it as, right? Me, my dad, my mom, my brother, my friends, they'd all buy it as like a digital art piece, which is cool, I guess. It's the second one, right? Where it's like, oh no, because that Gary Vee is one of those people who like, oh yeah, like it's not just a piece of art, it's like a digital signature or it's a digital whatever receipt for this thing. You own whatever, whether it be you have a ticket to a concert or you have you got your key to I was going to say Discord. I don't know why I was going to say Discord server, or you exclusive Discord server, or you have like a the copyright to a book. I don't know, a book series. I don't know, right? Right, and then right. That's the one where he's like, that's why it's gonna be better. You buy a ticket to a concert, well, you're gonna have to buy an NFT, and it's like, and you're gonna have to pay whatever they want you to pay for it. I'm like, I don't know if he said that actually, that last part actually, about the buying it at what price, but he did kind of imply that, like, yeah, and it'll be whatever they want you to pay for it. Pay for it. That's yeah. And I'm like, this is just stupid. I may I may make an NFT one day just to say I've made one, just so I could be like, I made one, and then just never make another one ever again. Just never touch it and be like, oh yeah, I dipped my toes, but I don't care. Never make. Although I don't know if he's a part of making these. I think he just buys them. I don't know. Don't ask me what Gary does with his life. Man, that guy's a weirdo. Sometimes a little weird, but anyway. So I saw a Mr. Who's the Boss video about NFTs, and he's explaining it as like the one problem, because I think Pat Country said that on his podcast, on Not So Common podcast. No, sorry, Not So Common, on Completely Necessary podcast. Based on what somebody else said, he was like just relaying information about like they are saying that like the problem with NFTs is like there has to be a website that holds this information, right? It's still a URL. It might not be a URL. Don't quote me on that. I'm sorry if I screw this up. I don't know very well what this means very well, but it's like basically like as if it was like a URL, right? And somebody has to have that URL, and somebody has to upkeep it, somebody has to pay for it, and somebody has to keep it running. And Mr. Who's the Boss made the same point based on probably the same sources, whatever, that like your NFT could just one day it's gone. It's just gone. The website's not being maintained. They didn't pay for their website. They just deleted the website. The website just doesn't, like, they got rid of it. They canned it, whatever, right? The website that they were hosting, like the blockchain they were using to host the website, doesn't exist anymore. Like, it's gone. Like, that's, like, and you are schwit out of luck. You're just out of luck. Schwit out of luck. Sorry. There's nothing you can do. You're just out of luck. Now, you might be able to, like, claim that you still own the, like, whatever connected to it. Maybe. I don't know how this works, really. I really don't know how this works. Maybe you were able to own, like, whatever it is, whether it's the ticket or the key to the Discord server or to whatever, or to, like, maybe, like, some sort of, like, either copyright or whatever. Maybe. Depending on how it's set up. Maybe. I don't know. But if you're not, you could spend millions of dollars on these things for exclusive whatever, and then just gone. All of it. Gone. Like, immediately. Like, just one day there, next day gone. Because if you look at how many websites just get abandoned, right? Because I wouldn't be surprised, not even joking. This is just my opinion. I don't know if this is true or not. But I'm just saying, like, I would not be surprised if there are more websites that have been abandoned than there are on the internet. Now, that's probably not true, considering how many websites there are on the internet, right? But, like, I would be surprised, A more realistic number would probably be, I wouldn't be surprised if 50% of all the websites on the internet, right? No, 50% of the number of websites on the internet, so 50% of the number of websites on the internet, there are that many websites that just flat out don't exist anymore. They're either not being paid for, or they're just sitting dormant, or they're being paid for in like some random like automatic withdrawal, but they're not doing anything with them, or it just sits in the same exact state, or there's no updates or whatever. I don't actually that wouldn't technically be abandoned, would it? I mean, yeah, I guess it would be abandoned. Anyway, so that's the problem with NFTs. That's like the number one problem with NFTs. Well, there's two problems. I don't know if Mr. Who's the Boss made that point. Aaron from Mr. Who's the Boss made that point. I think he did, but I'm not 100% sure, so don't quote me on that. But there's that whole problem of, like, when they kill it, right, it's dead, right? He made that point. But then there's a whole problem of, like, I think he did, because he said something like, well, what if we just stop caring? Like, we don't want them anymore. Because we get this roller coaster curve of, like, we like this technology, it's really cool, let's do, like, electronic books, right? And then, okay, that doesn't really work, it's not a fleshed out product, it's not a great thing, it's a cumbersome thing. Oh, we'll go back to regular books. I'm just taking books as an example. Oh, let's go to, like, digital books again. Yeah, let's do digital books again. Yeah, Kindles. Oh, yeah. And then just, oh, no, we want physical books again. And that was, like, 2000 and probably, like, 8 or 9 or 10, right? Somewhere in there. And now we're kind of back to, like, oh, let's do digital books again. Yeah, it's great. We know. And then, like, they had a very, very brief, like, short, like, spurt. So it's more digital now, but spurt of, like, in 2015 or 14 to 15, I think it was, or 14 to 16, where it's like, oh, we'll get real books again, and then everybody's back to digital books. But I don't know the statistics. But let's take music. Music. We go a physical piece of music. And then all these like Napster and Morpheus, Grokster, LimeWire, Kazaa, Napster, all these places, like boom, okay. And then we go back to physical music again. Okay, great. That was file sharing websites. Then we go back to physical music again. We want CDs. We want audio cassettes, CDs, records, whatever the next thing is. And then iTunes comes around. Oh, it's great. It's amazing. I can buy a song for 99 cents. I don't have to buy a whole album. Blah blah blah. Yada yada. iPods, MP3 players, right? And that lasted for 2001 to probably about like 2000 and probably about like 11 or 12, maybe 13, 14. And then it was this weird resurgence of like, oh, let's go buy vinyl again. Not that people are only buying that again, but you know what I mean. My point is, we like this physical, because we look at technology. Okay, if you look at technology has this like, wait, what were they going to talk about? I was going to say something about technology now. Well, if we look at the history of people, of man, we like technology, but we do this back, like, reverting back to, like, coming back to wanting, like, woo, we just want, what's it called? Physical things again. Right? We're like, oh, yes, I want a physical thing again. I want a physical thing. I want to hold that physical thing again. I want to read a book physically. I want to pop in a disc or a cartridge or whatever of a game, video game. Or I want whatever. Like, I think I saw a Linus Tech Tips video once that was, like, talking about how, like, he couldn't connect his, like, I think it was Windows XP computer or something like that to the internet or something. And he just couldn't figure it out, right? Or he didn't want to or whatever. And he just realized, he's like, so what happens with all the games that need to ping a server somewhere or just need some stupid thing that, like, lets you acknowledge that it's not pirated, right? Lets Steam acknowledge, or game that, So what? Does my Steam library just not... What if I have not updated my computer? What if I'm on Windows 7? What if I'm on Windows XP? Like, what happens? Am I just gone? Like, that's the thing. That's the stupid thing about technology. Like, that's why people always... My friend made the point. We were both making about the same argument, just in the opposite. This was 2016. This is when I had figured out... Now, I don't condone this, because it's technically pirating. So I don't condone this. I'm not going to tell you how to do it, but you can get PDFs of books. That's where I'm going to end, right? And then you can put it on your devices. Phones, computers, whatever, right? It's technically pirating. But I don't feel nearly as bad for some reason. I don't know. I always think to myself, I'm like, how do I not feel bad about this? But then other ways of pirating, I'm like, I don't know about that, I don't know if I want to do, It's weird. It's just strange. Probably because it's a book. And I just don't give a hoot. Anyway. And I had gotten a bunch of digital books, right? This book or that book or whatever, right? And I was like, ooh. Or I didn't even do digital books. Forget the digital books. Actually, no. No, use digital books. Because I was going to say music. But then again, my friend actually did come around to books. He's coming around to, sorry, not books, music at that point. Anyway. But the books, it's like, I was like, he made the point, what happens if your library dies? I goes, yeah, what happens if your house burns down? What happens if your books all get soaked in wet? What happens if your books all burn? You got nothing. And then I made the point, I back them up on 4 different devices. Done. Oh, one dies. Ooh. Sucks to be me. Oh, well, move on to the next device. Take all the things off of it. Like, I'm building a NAS, right? Well, I'm not building a NAS. My friend is building a NAS, which is a network-attached storage that I can, like, connect to, and I can use off-site, right, on his at his house, from his house, at my house, to, right, it's like a cloud server kind of thing, with a Raspberry Pi 3, right, Raspberry 3B, not 3B plus, 3B, and I got, like, hard drives. I said that to him, and he kind of, like, was, like, probably thinking to himself. He didn't answer me about that one, because I messaged him about it, but, like, we're talking about it, and I was just like, why did I just, like, I was going to pay for them, but why did I just send him all the equipment to his house? And he's like, he probably thought about it and went, yeah, that probably would have been smart. Like, at least the hard drives. I don't need to be holding these hard drives for 2 weeks. He hasn't been well for a while, so it's like, he hasn't been feeling well for a while, so it's like, now I gotta go around and like, what? Huh? Huh? Now I gotta just hold these 2 hard drives for what? Long time? Maybe we're not gonna see him the next time I'm gonna be able to see him. I usually see him. It's like, oh, no. So, anyway, that's not a point. But anyway, NAS. I'll just put up all my NAS. I'll put all these things on my NAS, and then I don't have to worry about it. Bam! Everything in my house goes down. Everything. The house burns down. There's an earthquake. A flood. I don't know. Because we've had bad floods at least near Montreal, like near the West Island. There's been bad floods. I mean, parts of Laval have floods. Because I thought to myself, why would you want to ever build any houses near the water when the water can come right up to you and you're flooded and you're dead? I think my mom explained that to me, or my dad, or both of them explained to me, and I'm like, okay, well, I mean, hey, I still think it's like kind of dumb, but anyway. And so, yeah, and so we're making the point of, like, I have hundreds of these. I can download, theoretically download an infinite amount of these if I had enough space. Hold on, 41 minutes. I'll give it a few more minutes. Space, so I can download an infinite amount. Sorry, that's for. I always make a timer, so let me see if I can get my timer open again. Yeah, so an infinite amount of space, whatever. And he's like, yeah, what if it dies? It's dead. I think no offense, I think my argument was a way better argument than his argument. His argument was kind of just like, well, what if your stuff dies? What if your whatever? I'm like, I have it on some other thing, like idiot. Although, but, and this is my best friend at the time. But I did say I physically like holding. I like to physically hold a book. I do. I really do. I do see the value in that because it was a book, right? I think I said something like, listening to a CD and listening to an MP3, there is no difference. I like putting in the CD. I can hold how many songs on my phone, right? Just through iTunes, because I had an iPhone SE at the time, and he had an iPhone 4S, I think, at the time, or maybe at a 5. I don't remember. Anyway, might have gotten a 5 by that point. No, I think it was a 4S. No, it was a 4. It wasn't even a 4S. That was the thing. It wasn't even a 4S. Anyway, right? And so he'd come around to that, but he still liked CDs, and I was like, how many CDs can you hold? And he like pulled out this like, oh well, I can use the those travel cases, and I can do this, and I can do that, and I can hold. Yeah, but that's so stupid, because guess what? You still have a finite amount of them, because it still takes up physical space. It's like video games. Everybody who gets on the bandwagon of digital games, always, one of the first things they always think about is, it doesn't take up physical space in my house. What happens if that? And also, I didn't even say it at the time, because I didn't know that was really a thing, but the bit rot, right? Oh, the CD rot, the bits all rot away, and you just can't play it anymore. My bits can be corrupt, my song can be corrupt, the software, the file, the bits can be corrupt, the file can be corrupt, but there's no whatever. There's a version of it everywhere. There's just a version everywhere. I can find that version somewhere on the internet or somewhere. Library of Congress has a copy, whatever. These archiving places do it anyway. That's so that's the thing. But people will come back to this. And I was trying to argue that like digital was better, and he was trying to argue that physical was better. And I'm like, no, I know. I like putting a tape in a tape player. I like cassette player. I like putting a record and a needle down on a record. I like that stuff. But I was trying to make the point of like, I think we ended that conversation with me saying something like, both of those things should never get rid of them, because if one goes away, you still have the other. Right? Don't do like a lot of people do and digitize everything and just like get rid of all the physical. But also don't, be stuck in the past and say stupid things like, well, I'm never digitizing this. I got it all here. It's all in front of me. It's like, but, like, it's dumb in my opinion. Anyway. So yeah, I think that's where we like ended that conversation. But people like physical things. I like to put physical. I think it was uh, Jordan Peterson who was talking about how he used to buy like, oh my god, he was like obsessed with buying art at one point. Like he went on eBay and he went all these places and he just bought art pieces. I think it was like Soviet era art pieces, and like pre-Soviet era, like World War II and Soviet era, like um like art. And I was like, yeah, because you like to physically put a piece of art on your wall. It's at least something you can tangibly be like, look, I can go and look at it and put it up on my wall and it's nice. Rather than just a digital art that goes nowhere. Or a book. That's the reason I never got a Kindle. They were either too expensive or just I didn't see the value. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't see the value in buying one because I was like, well, I'm not gonna. First of all, I'm not gonna read enough books to justify the cost of a Kindle as just a physical product, like the physical tablet, Kindle tablet. Then I'm gonna spend money on the books. It's dumb. I go to my library, and because at the time when they first came out, or around the time they first came out, I was still going to my library to pick up books, which meant I didn't pick up a lot of new books. So it's like I didn't care. I was like, look, whatever, it doesn't matter, whatever. I don't need it. Now I might buy one if I can find one cheap. Although I don't have a lot of Kindle books. I have a few. I have like 5 maybe. 4 or 5. Something like that. 3 or 4. Anyway. So, like that's the thing. So going back to the NFT thing, which is the art. We physically like to hold something or see something, or like the same reason people are like getting film cameras, or they're developing the pictures off their phones or their digital cameras because they want to physically hold said thing. The art is also the art here won't one day just magically vanish. Like, oh, I'm staring at a piece of art on my wall, right? Something that somebody made me. I didn't. It's not a commission. It's something from Comic Con. I don't know if you know Sean Noir. His at on social media is at Sean Noir. I'm sorry, at Hey Sean Noir. I think I found him. I think he does Captain Canuck, or he had done a Captain Canuck comic art. I don't know what he did, but he made me the original because we were doing all the superhero stuff, and we had things like my friend, one guy wanted not Deadpool. What's that guy's name? Not Iron Skull. What's that? Maybe it was Iron Skull actually, or Red Skull. No, what's the guy's name? He looks like a rhino. What? He's black and I think silver. Marvel. They had a show about it on Netflix. God, what's his name? Oh gosh, there's a video game. There's an NES video game about it. Iron Skull or no? No, what's his name? God, what's his name? Okay, give me a second here. I know it's gonna go a little bit over time usually, but from what usual regularly scheduled programming. But yeah, what's it called? I might have to look it up. No, I'm gonna look it up here. Sorry. What's it called? Goodbye. What's it called? The video I was watching before the short. I'm like, goodbye. What's it called? Oh my gosh. Punisher. That's what it is. Okay. The Punisher, right? Goodbye. Sorry. The Punisher, right? And then I think he wanted Punisher or Red Skull, whatever the guy's name was, the other one that they made a show on Netflix, or and then my friend wanted, I think it was Tim Drake or Nightwing, I don't remember which one. And then I said, no, give me Dick Grayson, give me original Dick Grayson thing. Anyway, that has nothing to do with anything. I just wanted to remember that. Anyway, the point about that is, I have it. That doesn't just magically one day go gone. Also, that guy. I'm just gonna say one thing about that friend. He never took care of things very well. Now, I'm not gonna say he was awful at everything, but he never took care of things very well. By the end of that day that I was with him, his piece of art was in like shot condition, like he had nothing. The other friend that I was with, which was his friend, not really my friend, his was in decent condition. His was definitely like folded up and put in his pocket, or held, folded up, whatever. I'm like, why would you do that? Mine is in like immaculate condition because I kept it in immaculate. I think my dad held it all day. I went to Comic Con with my dad that year. I think it's 2015, and then immaculate condition, and then I put it in a picture frame immediately when I got a picture frame. Like, I got it home, I left it somewhere, like, between books or something, and then immediately put it in a picture frame as fast as I could, and now it's sitting there. Anyway, that's a physical thing that'll never just poof. One day it's here, next day it's physically gone. Like, I'm not staring at it, and then just 404 error. Oh, website can't be found. You're just screwed now. No. No, no. That's just my thing. I'm also looking at a bunch of posters on my wall, things I printed out over the years, things I got in a Loot Crate, things I got from, like, different stores. There was one store going out of business, and they had, like, sale upon... Well, no, they were switching out all their stuff, and so they wanted to get rid of it. So, yeah. And then there's something here, I guess from, like, Home Depot or something, or Brother Depot. It's the, like, what do you call it, stained glass looking, like, Zelda vinyls. Those are cool. Those are actually cool. Like, so cool. Anyway, I don't like the one I have. It's the Hero Ball, but anyway. And then I have a Kirby 20th anniversary poster from the Nintendo store in Nintendo store in New York, because I went there 2012. Anyway, like, it was such a like it's not gonna physically just staring at like visibly staring at it, and then just gone, you know. This is my thing with the art and the physical things of, like, the books and the music and the movies and the whatever. Like, still, like, you would think that by now, based on the pandemic, people would want to go and watch, or wouldn't want to go and watch movies in a movie theater. But no, movie theaters. When I went twice. No, once. Once. I went once within the last, like, 2 or 3 years, right? And I was just like, there's enough people here. Like, this is genuinely quite a lot of people. Like, this is, like, a good amount of people. Therefore, movie theaters ain't going anywhere. Like, maybe more people will go watch them online. Like, I think I was listening to Strike Back podcast, and it was Ryan Chambers and Andy Schrock, and Ryan Chambers basically said, I'd pay a little bit more. Because, like, that's the thing. He predicted what Disney would have done, which was he said, I would pay a little bit more to have it come to my house. Just come to my house. Like, as in, like, the movie before it becomes, like, just put onto, like, Disney Plus or onto Netflix or something. I'd pay more to, like, a Netflix or a Hulu or a Disney Plus or an Amazon Prime to get it before it gets onto that service. Whatever, 6 months later. And I'm like, because I think it was Andy Schrock who said, yeah, but I would want to go to a movie theater. And he's like, I don't care. I don't, like, care about the movie theater experience. Although, like, because that's the thing. I think it's Cineplex here in at least in Quebec. I don't know about the rest of the country, Canada, but like in Montreal and Quebec, it's very much they have this trailer or reel before the show. They have this little thing before the show, this ad before the show, before the movies, and it's like it's a guy watching it. It's like a whatever silhouette of a guy, and it's just a thing of a phone. It's like, you don't watch it on this. Right? You don't watch it on, and then it moves on to a laptop. You don't watch it on this. You're not meant to watch it on this. And it's like, you're not meant to watch it on this, and it's like your TV screen. You're meant to watch it on this. This is how movies are meant to be watched. And it's like, a big explosion, and it's like, wow, big explosion. It's like, really, like, it's like, yeah. I mean, yeah, oh yeah. It's like, I'm like, I'm okay with watching it on my TV, though. I don't... Also, though, within the last, like, 10 years... Although, I didn't watch a lot of movies before that, really. But within the last 10 years, I watched less and less movies, and I just waited for them to come out. Also, I just don't care about movies as much as, like, some people. Like, my best friend went to see probably a movie, like, probably once a month, and I probably saw one, like, not joking, maybe twice a year. So he saw, like, 12 a year. Or he found maybe even half that, like 6 a year. And I watched like 2. And that was for like a good 3 to 5 years. Like, I'm not even joking. So he saw like, at the most, 60 movies? I saw 10. At the low end, he probably watched more like 30, half that. So, But I'm just saying, like the physical, like whole, like wanting to go see that experience. It's the whole like doing. People like to do. People like to hold it, to like relic it. I got this because like my friend was saying, read books. Just go back to reading books. And I'm like, yeah, yeah. It's a whole experience to read a book. And I'm like, yes, I know. And it's a dying art. It's a lost thing. The art of reading a book. Like, also, so I met a guy because I was at like a young adults like I don't know if you call it a rally or a conference. It's not a conference really. It's like a rally. It's like a rally's the wrong word because it's not really what it is. It's like a gathering of. It's supposed to be a Christian like young adults. Anyway, he said he used to like be like crazy addicted to like video games, and then he now he loves reading. And I'm like, great, because people like the frick. Oh my god, it's like holding. I didn't even ask him. I should have asked him. Physical or digital? I always rise if he goes. I'm okay with digital. Like, okay, because I said I like listen to books. I'll listen to a book, and I'm like, yeah, but that's. She's like, yeah, but that's not the same thing. I'm like, no, it's really not. Because I found it on Internet Archive. I found iPod on my iPod. I don't know if that's actually technically pirating, but I found Jurassic Park. Anyway, so it's like I'm okay with like he's like that's not the same thing though. It's still not. I'm like, no, it really isn't. But anyway, the books are the best example. I bought like I was just about to say. I got the Ocarina of Time manga, right? The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time manga, and I'm holding it in my hand, and I'm like, this is amazing because there's a whole thing you can buy where it's like a treasure chest, and it's like a big 5 book set, I think 5 or 6 book set, and it's a wooden chest, and it's with like brass, like what do you call it, like uh, not rivets. Well, there's probably a brass like lock or whatever, like hinge or whatever. But I'm talking about the brass like railing or whatever you call it. I don't know what it's called. Pieces on it, like trim. That's the word I'm looking for. Brass trim on it, and it was like $220. I'm like, wow, that's insane, because it's not even like the price of each one, which would have been what's 25 times 5? Do the math here. I gotta do the math. 25 times 5. Yeah. Give me a calculator. So we gotta finish. I gotta end this episode because I'm just going over and over forever. It'll be an hour. It'll be dumb by this point. But let me just quickly end it. I just want to not a calendar, a calculator. Because it's $25, but my dad had 10% off because it's with Chapters Indigo, which is like the Palm card, which you have like points or whatever, and so he got 10% off, so he got $20 instead of 5. Anyway, 25 or 20? Was it 25? Yeah, 24.99. Yeah, because it's 17.99 US and then 14.99 pounds in the UK. Anyway, $25. So if I say 25 times, let's say 5, like 125. I wasn't, so anyway, that's a cool thing. I was fine with having the first one. I wanted the first like issue, but I think they said it was available but not in store. Maybe it was. I didn't look. Anyway, because I wanted their app, the Indigo app. Anyway, I found this though, and I'm like, do I want it though? I contemplated for a good like 5-10 minutes. I'm like, but do I want it? Like, I'm like, this is all they have. And my dad's like, but Dad looked at me like, but it's all they have. So like, what are you gonna do? Right? You either put it back on the shelf or you take it. Anyway, so I'm just saying, like, I bought that, and I like the physical holding of the book. I probably could have found somewhere that had it, some app. What's that one called? Oh gosh. Oh, what's the one? Shonen Jump, whatever, or Viz. Well, anyway, my point is, with the physical is things is NFTs. People like to hold the art. They like to know. Also, they like to know that this is something someone actually painted or drew, or even a picture that they printed. They went somewhere and got that picture, took that picture. So I think NFTs are a hooky, stupid idea, dumb idea that'll crash eventually. I think cryptocurrency could become a thing. I just don't think it'll ever become a thing anytime soon. You have to separate it from the dollar. Once you separate it from the dollar, you'll be okay. We'll figure a way. That'll be the way we can like value it and something, or have enough people to buy it. Because I didn't even make the point of like Elon Musk said, oh, we'll accept Bitcoin as crypto as current as to buy the Bitcoin to buy we'll accept Bitcoin to buy a Tesla. So it's like I don't care. It's not worth anything. It's not worth money. I basically am spending money. Let's say I apply $62,000, right, for my let's say $65,000, right? I'm paying for the high end one, like the high end one. How much Bitcoin am I spending? How much money am I spending? I'm just saying, look, let's get here before it's going to be 60 minutes anyway. But I'm just saying, that's the thing. So I think that'll be it for now, guys. Don't invest in this stuff unless you know how to flip it real quick. And even there, I'm like, I don't recommend doing it even. I just don't think you should invest in any of this stuff. Also, please. Now, I get if you don't have space, but at least books. At least books, I think you should really pick up books physically. I like holding a book. Video games, you can have the argument of the digital storefronts go away. Streaming, you could have the problem of that movie's gone now. Like, it's not on streaming service. I have a whole thing I'm staring at right now, which is just a bunch of DVDs. It's the whole series of Friends. It's all the, the first three, X-Men. It's all the, Planet of the Apes movies. Well, up until a certain point, because they don't have the new Planet of the Apes movies, but it has almost all the new Planet of the Apes movies. It's got Mad Men. It's got, I think there's also all the Sidney Poitier movies. Anyway, I like physically holding and physically putting into a player DVDs. I'm just saying. That's just me. Maybe that's just me. I like it. Although, I'm like almost everybody with music and TV shows slash movies slash TV shows. TV shows slash movies. I'm okay with, if it's on a streaming service or if it's on some sort of like whatever, I'm willing to just stream it. I don't care. Also, I don't pay for not Netflix. I don't pay for I use I don't pay for, well, I don't pay for Netflix, but I use Tubi TV, which is free. And I don't pay for Amazon Prime because my mom has it, and I don't pay for Disney Plus because my brother pays for it, and he has enough user counts, whatever you call it. Like they allow enough users. So if I was paying for it, I'd probably be like, I don't know, because my mom every month she's like, I think this is the month we're gonna get rid of Netflix. We have to get rid of Netflix, and then I'm just like, oh yeah, ma. The next month rolls around, and I'm like, oh yeah, ma. She's like, yeah, I know, we should really get rid of it. And the next month rolls around, and I'm like, oh yeah, ma. So anyway, because she's just like, I don't find enough on there. I'm like, I don't either. But hey, now that I have it, I can watch all those things that I didn't watch, which I don't like. I just realized, I'm like, I don't like some of them. Anyway, I think I gotta end it here because I'm going to go forever. I think that'll be it for now, guys. My only point is, at least books, maybe physical books, because it doesn't translate the same way. Other than that, Look, I'm not going to be a financial advisor. I'm not going to be a financial advisor, to advise you on what to buy and what not to buy, what to invest in and not to invest in. I'm not your stockbroker. Do what you want with your money. I'm just telling you, I'm forewarning you. Be forewarned. Be warned. You might not make millions of dollars on this stuff. Just saying. So, I think that'll be it for now, guys. So, adios, mi amigos.